Hey, Derek here at Castaway Studios. Today I'll show you how to use an old unwanted iPad for a dedicated soundboard for your podcast studio after this. So a friend of mine gave me a couple of iPads to give to the kids. Now my wife said the kids aren't ready for iPads, so don't show them. And I thought, I think there's a series 3 or generation 3 and a generation 4. This is the generation 4, and this is what I've done to set it up as a dedicated sound pad bank. Right, so I was using the Rodecaster Pro, which has its own. I think you can get up to 64 sound pads in 8 different banks, 8 by 8, and that is magnificent. There is one advantage to having a separate sound pad bank, and that is that you can have it over there while you're actually recording, and you haven't got the talent leaning over the mixer and possibly messing with it. So that's one advantage. You can have someone controlling the mixing desk somewhere else, and the talent actually in charge of making the intermittent sounds. So here's what I've done. Okay, so I'm going to try and get you a better view. This could get interesting. This is the old PTZ Pro Logitech camera, struggling to get a zoom there. Right, so this is the iPad, and I've installed a software called Soundboard. Now, it took me a while to find this because it actually was called Podcast Soundboard or Podcaster Soundboard. Look that up and look for this symbol, because with the 2 iPads, I did put one on each and thought, look at the difference between the generations, but I actually made a mistake. They had the same name, Soundboard, on the icon. Right, so within this, you've got, it's very straightforward. So you've got over here the little plus, so you hit that to make a new board. So I've got one I prepared earlier called Castaway General. This is Castaway Studios, so Castaway General. And I thought, to get started, I'll quickly put my regularly used pads to start the year from different shows. I'll put them all in one for now, and then start making a new set of boards for each show, which is a nice way of doing it. Right, so I've got the intro for one show here, which is a poetry show called More Than a Wheelin'. So I've got that running I'll just pause it for a sec. I've got that running through the TRRS cable and into the, let me just get that view again, and into the Zoom L7. Well, my bloody head's right in the way of that, but I'm not worried about that. I'll just shift it. There it is, running into there, which is kind of the setup for phone interviews, right? So now I've messed with my thing. All right, so that's set up for phone interviews. So back to that. So I've pressed it again, and it's actually stopped where it was. So it will continue.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to
You can run this thing
More Than a Wheelin'.
I'll pause it again. Once you've set up each of these pads, you can have all the controls here, which means play, pause, stop. You can also press, it gets pretty hectic, this double one, which means it actually copies and adds on and loops and can really build up some kind of intensity. I'm not sure what for, but you can do that. And there's this repeat
podcast
button there,
about creative
which I
writing,
assume means it will go round and round and round again, over and over again, which is kind of good if you're doing a stream and you've got some droning background music. You can set that to go, and it will just, when it gets to the end, it'll just go again and again and provide the background. I like to use them when I'm podcasting by pressing this little, I pressed the wrong button. With pressing this little circle button here, it just gives you a very straightforward little pad. So they're just really, so you let it run through, And if you press it again, it goes back to the beginning and starts again. That is... Now you'll see, you might not see, but there's a tiny little copy thing there, right? So what I'm going to do is put that back on, untick copy, right? And untick loop and put that back on there. And then you'll find when I hit it, and I hit it again, it actually stops and pauses where it is. So you don't have to see it through. Right, so you can make up your mind as far as that goes. If you panic and you've hit the wrong one, you can just stop it again. And that's it. So it's about setting. It's pretty cool. It's got a bit of versatility here. And then
wow,
that's one I use for a show that's got a wow theme. Right, so, you can just keep on plugging these in to your heart's content. So this is the list of soundboards. I like how simple that is. So I'll press that, create a soundboard, and call it Derek Create Soundboard. Now the next problem will be opening the soundboard, pressing the little plus, a new pad, and add from files. Right. So what I've done is I've put all my sound files on the PC or any of the computers into an iCloud folder, and this actually links to your iCloud drive. Oops. And so there you go. I press the folder called soundboard clips, and I go have a look, and let's say YouTube Live, Pokemon 45 minutes. So that was a poor choice on my behalf, because that will take quite a while to upload onto the iPad. But when it does, I can press that pad and it'll drop. I think it's like a weird sort of electronic music just to sort of provide a bit of background for a live stream, right? So that's that. I'm going to end it now because I've gone and set this up to upload that thing. So that's pretty much how I utilised unwanted old iPads. There you go. It's done it already. So I'm not sure where that is, but then when it uploads, you can press, I'm going to do it again, there it is there, selected file, Pokemon 45 minutes. So I'll choose another one for your benefit that might be a little bit shorter. All right, so there we go. TGP outro. Right, so that's another podcast, the outro for a podcast. So you can record the podcast, have this channel up. If you happen to be using this the channel, doing a phone interview or a Skype interview, then you're probably a bit doomed. But you can take the audio out of this and split it and run it into another channel. The Zoom L8 is going to take a little bit of thinking through for each show and each use, but all those facilities are there to use. But you do need to be prepared. If you need to use USB in, then you've got to keep that channel free. And if you've got to do a phone interview, then that channel free. In which case you'd probably do a conversion and run a padded line out and split this mini jack into track 7 and 8. So it's all doable realistically. So there you have it. Selected file and add pad. Right, so there it is. I'm not going to name it and all that. And there's... So just press that. I can keep it simple. And that's an outro for another show. And of course, you control the volume from here. And to some extent, you can control it from the iPad as well, in a general sense. So that's it. That's how to make an entire limitless soundboard to have on your desk at desk level for use within a podcast or video or streaming setup. Fantastic. Alrighty. Thank you very much. See you next time.